Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Brunei. The visit marks the first bilateral visit of an Indian Prime Minister to the small island nation. The Ministry of External Affairs issued a statement regarding the visit and said that the bilateral visit to Brunei Darussalam aims to strengthen 40 years of diplomatic relations shared by the two nations. Prime Minister Modi also expressed eagerness to meet with His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah and other esteemed members of the royal family in an attempt to advance relations and take the equation shared by the two countries to newer heights. Members of the vibrant and diverse Indian diaspora in Brunei have expressed their enthusiasm and support for Prime Minister Modi's visit. After Brunei, Prime Minister Modi will be visiting Singapore. As he embarked on a visit to the two countries, Prime Minister Modi expressed how the nations were, quote-unquote, important partners in India's Act East policy and asserted that his visits would further strengthen the partnership with the two nations and the larger ASEAN region. The Indian High Commissioner to Brunei, Alok Amitabh Dimri, has said that they were expecting a joint statement which should take stock of the bilateral relations between the two countries. Further, Dimri also added how the statement is expected to cover the key areas of interest between India and Brunei. He also added that India has a space station in Brunei which has helped ISRO with some key launches in the past. Monica Verma, International Affairs expert, with us on the broadcast. Ms. Verma, if you can take our viewers through your thoughts on Prime Minister Modi's visit specifically to Brunei. Why is it that despite diplomatic relations for the past 40 years, no Prime Minister really thought of visiting this tiny island nation?
I think, Devika, a lot can be answered by observing the approach of Prime Minister Modi towards diplomacy. In fact, I don't think Brunei is the only country where an Indian Prime Minister has visited for the first time. There are many countries where Prime Minister Modi has paid a visit, and those countries, I think, were the first time that such a high-level engagement was being done with those countries. So I think, first of all, many congratulations to the government. Since 2014, government has been giving a lot of importance and a very sharp focus on who our friends are, who are our enemies, how should we be pushing our interest at the global level. So I think it's a good thing that after it's good to be late than never. So I think it's okay. It's fine if it's happening after 70 years of diplomatic relations, but ultimately it is finally happening. And it assumes even more significance when we look at the events that are currently going on. So the kind of behavior that China is demonstrating in the South China Sea is something which is worrying all the countries in the region. So I think this visit should be seen with some connection to this event as well.
Okay, do you feel, so Ms. Verma, you're saying you feel that some message then is also going out to China with this visit?
Yes, of course, because at the broad level, if we look at India's policy towards the neighborhood, then China is trying to encircle India through, various ways, whether it is in the Indian Ocean or it is across the Himalayas. China is, showing a worse kind of behavior towards India. After becoming powerful, it is making the full use of its power to show its assertive and aggressive side to India. So I think when China comes and intrudes in South Asia, when China comes and intrudes in different countries, I think just a week ago, 3 Chinese ships, they had docked at a port in Colombo. So I think when China is doing all these things in India's immediate neighborhood, it makes more sense for India to also be a little aggressive, go to China's immediate neighborhood, which is Southeast Asia, and engage these countries.
Okay. Ambassador Manju Seth also with us on the broadcast. Ambassador Seth, your thoughts, ma'am, on the Prime Minister now making his visit to Brunei. As I'd asked Ms. Monica Verma as well, 40 years of diplomatic relations, we do have a space station in the country. It is a significant exporter of oil and natural gas as well. Why is it that after 4 decades, we now want to visit Brunei?
I think what has happened over the years is that, the number of visits become too much in a year, and, you prioritize which country to go to. And somehow it's not a very good thing. It should not have been neglected. And I think it is time that we are now, reaching out to many other countries, many visits, which are taking place for the very first time to many countries. And Brunei, of course, has been a very important bilateral partner for us in our, as you mentioned, for our oil needs and energy needs. And also, I think we've had a very historical, kind of development cooperation between India and Brunei. And, in the development field, and I think defense exchanges and training, capacity building, etc. And this visit, ASEAN has always been very important for us. And now one ASEAN country which had not had a visit, and I think the Prime Minister has taken the very important decision of visiting this country and signaling. And of course, South China Sea, we have seen what's happening with the other and all China's attitude in general in the South China Sea and towards all the ASEAN countries. And so India needs to safeguard its security, energy security, and its maritime security. And I think from that point of view, it's a very important visit, and will be it's a signal that we attach importance to all our bilateral relations, including with Brunei.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.